Hi, and a very warm welcome to today's excursion into the wonderful world of well-being. Glad you could join me. Fantastic day. I know you're curious about the temperature. Well, it's -10. We've got more snow on the way, and it's going to be -18 tomorrow. Where's springtime? But it is a really beautiful day, and I hope you're feeling fantastic. I'm so glad you could join me. And I thought it might be interesting for us to just touch on the uncertainty principle. What do you mean, Greg? Well, as a species, we really like things to be predictable. In fact, much as we love the idea of adventure and challenge, we're much more comfortable in a predictable environment. We like things to be the same, so that we avoid the risk of unforeseen challenges, difficulties, and possible dangers as part of our evolutionary heritage. And in order to sustain this comfortable feeling that life is somehow predictable, that it very much remains the same, when clearly it doesn't, we tend to gravitate towards ideas that confirm our view of the world. Let's take a look at this. Most of us tend to suffer from a form of bias in the way that we filter the news or the information around us. We tend to prefer the information that supports how we think and feel and very much what we believe. And it doesn't really leave us open to the possibility that we could learn something completely new, that we could perhaps consider ideas which are contradictory to the comforting thoughts and feelings that sustain our view of the world around us. It's become a little more difficult due to social media. I know it's a subject we touch on fairly frequently, but we know that because of the way that we take in information, short bursts of video, our attention span on average has become less and less. And the problem with that, of course, is that we engage in critical thinking less and less. So we tend to gravitate towards images, thoughts, news feeds, streams that support our view of the world, and we avoid areas which cause us to have to think, which cause us to perhaps consider things from a different perspective. In brief, we are deeply conditioned to see the world in a particular way, a way which takes away a lot of the uncertainty, because uncertainty is not comfortable. We prefer the devil we know to the devil we don't. How do we deal with this? Well, I've got a couple of simple suggestions. The first thing may be to take a break from your phone. It's not about being a technophobe that wants to throw all this technology away. We are so privileged to have access to this amazing technology. But it's a tool. It's supposed to help us, not control us. And if you can learn to take a break from the phone, you'll find that you have more space to exercise some critical thinking, to just consider that the stories that you're seeing on the news feeds are, in fact, stories. They're edited, they're crafted to produce a specific reaction. And though we may not be aware of it, if we exercise a little more critical thinking, we might just develop a more discerning attitude towards the information we're exposed to every day. If you can learn to practice a little more mindfulness, this is perhaps a more direct way of perceiving the world, where you don't experience the knee-jerk reaction that most of us are prone to, but you get a chance to pause, to reflect, and consider what is really going on. You have a more detached view, you become more objective. The logical reasoning part of the brain gets a chance to play its role and interpret the data rather than just responding with the old familiar patterns that tend to keep us boxed within the framework of what we think the world is like. Remember, what we believe to be real represents the barrier, the boundary to what we're capable of understanding. If something is outside of that particular framework, we largely miss it, we ignore it. And we live in an incredibly rich world, an environment that is overflowing with possibilities. When we take the time to practice a little mindfulness, to detach ourselves from the old, comfortable way of seeing things, we might just experience a new way, a different way, a better way of experiencing life and all its possibilities. I'd love to know what you think. You've probably gathered that there is quite a wind blowing, and the wind chill is about -21. It is a bit chilly, but it's beautiful to be out in the fresh air. please accept my warmest wishes. I hope you have a wonderful day. Feel free to share your thoughts and feelings and suggestions, and I look forward to being back with you again very soon. Thank you.